Welcome to Toffee TV. It is live at 5. This video is sponsored by UNESCO because we are a World Heritage YouTube channel.
If there's any value, we could start like a World Heritage YouTube thing.
We just start it.
Take pictures of places that are just being left to rot and ruin and just go, this is...
That corner over there. That corner over there.
That UNESCO won't let us develop it.
Well, the UNESCO won't let us develop that corner over there. And we've just dumped stuff there instead. There's a cone and a fella walking his dog, filming the cone. We wanted to make it into like a 4K super corner, but we're just not allowed because UNESCO won't let us.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
Not allowed.
So we'll have to leave it.
Yeah, the kite flyers and the cone.
It's good. I mean, we've got some small ships, but
cone spottings there. Yeah. God, what is going on?
Good times.
It is great times. Good afternoon, everybody, by the way, on this hot Wednesday. Carl is number one on the old Patreon and says, this is just too easy now, Ned. And he even wrote first the way you did.
Not even trying anymore.
Whatever. Jay Muncie says, oh, hi, Toffee TV. What's happening with the Florida Cup now that Arsenal dropped out?
I imagine they'll be trying to find another team. I mean, there's loads of teams locally they could get to play, but I suppose, see, we're playing Milianas, is it? So we're playing them, that's good for us.
Yeah.
But if they bring in someone for Inter, and Inter be like, hang on, we were told we were going to play someone like of note, we want a proper run out. I mean, if they're bothered about that, then that might be an issue. But
would it be better than just playing a game rather than having like it just being a 3-team tournament?
Well, it can't be a 3-team tournament because you'd have to add another game to it.
To get a final.
If you're going to have a cup, surely. See,
Inter have got a bye.
I was saying to you before, surely, not surely, but what they could do, but I don't know if there's enough time, is
I don't think there's enough time.
Play a couple more, Everton play Inter Milan and Milianas play Inter Milan, Everton, so it's another couple of games, but how you'd work that out, I don't know if you could, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The easiest thing to do would to be add another team, so whether they could drag Orlando FC into it, or get one of their under 23s involved, or
it'd probably be Orlando City, like B-side. That'd be for me all he could probably do. Really, but it's just because of the games.
No.
What's annoying is next week there's no games because the All-Star game's coming up. So there would have been teams going. Orlando City or into Miami would have loved the game, I reckon. It's just happened a week too late, really. So, I mean, if you were Inter, I'd rather play Orlando City B and just have a game in that stadium where you can give your squad a run out to two different teams.
I know, but
expect to beat them.
But obviously. How sad would you feel if Wednesday and it was like Everton are playing Orlando and you weren't there?
No, but if it was Orlando B, it is what it is. Gary Ward says, howdy. Paul Cattle says, afternoon, lads and fellow Blues. I took a little drive past Bramley Moore Dock this morning after picking up my nephew. And it was really busy down there with wagons, great to see. It's
all the prep, all the prep.
Mark G says, if you're tired of the Wednesday late, Toffee TV's Patreon is as low as £4 a month. Get over there and have some insider fun. Thanks, Mark G, on the super chat. Cheers, mate. Yeah, it's good that Bramley Moore Dock is all kicking off, isn't it? It's good. A lot of people excited. Aaron Yates said, never been so bored in my life. Lads, the only exciting thing today is Toffee TV or the Mighty Blues going live.
More us.
Yeah, well, I think he meant that, didn't he? It's all good. Sol says, why don't they just do a league format?
Well, you'd have to add, as I said, you'd have to add 2 more games, wouldn't you? It's where they're, one for each team. So it's whether they've got time. I don't know whether they've got time.
No,
whether they could factor in it. I don't know. And you got to get the stadium, and they got the stadium and all that kind of thing. I don't know. But
yeah,
to me, that would be the easiest thing to do. But I mean, it's not easy. But it's the easiest thing to do is just replace the team.
Yeah, that's the easiest. Anthony Cunningham said Ped just moved his hand, UNESCO status revoked. Mark Smith said I saw Ped's double in Bogota on Sunday.
Yeah, I've got a double in box. I have them around the world to keep people on the toes about where I am at all times.
Yeah.
It's a security thing, really. So no one can pin down where I am.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. So I like to have doubles just roaming the earth, just to throw people off the scent.
You've got to, haven't you?
You've got to in this day. You know what I mean?
Essentially, you're future proofing.
Yeah. Well, you ever seen that film, The Devil's Double?
No.
Where one of Saddam Hussein's sons, he gets someone into be his double.
Yeah.
Bit
Sorry,
like that.
know about it.
Bit like that. Yeah.
I mean, that's basically, that's fair enough, isn't it? That's fair enough. You've got to do it.
Some days it's not even me. Yeah. You know.
What can you say? Patrick McLaughlin says, I reckon Basil retires to Florida in 20 years. I don't think
I don't think you got the capabilities.
I don't
for that
think
big
I have
man.
the facilities for that big man. I don't know how. You can you? Because I couldn't, could I? Because how could I? I wouldn't be able to get a green card to live there, would I?
Yeah. You get a short-term visa, and then you just stay there. And if you get a job, I could see you in the Walmart greeting people.
I'd be in Epcot. I'd be like older in Epcot, just like.
Yeah. Well, you've got the complexion, so it'll be all right. Yeah, and you get a job. I've got my
Epcot fan TV.
My auntie lives in Florida. Yeah, I mean, it's not you know. I wish I liked that, but that's just one of those things. And she lives over there, and it's all good. But it's not the kind of relationship where you go visit. But
no, but I mean, fair play to it. Fair play. It's all good. It's all good. Let's go. 15 says thoughts on the Jesse Lingard links. Been linked with him today, haven't you?
Yeah, if he goes, he'll end up at West Ham.
Yeah. RCO2 says, I think we seriously underestimate how good business this is. Begovic had 75% saving accuracy last season, which is the same as Martinez at Villa. Townsend had started for 6 or 7 teams in the league, but his backup and Gray for the bench is a great option in the cup, lower league teams. Fair enough. Yeah. Connor Davis says, all right, lads, how can I watch the games for Florida Cup?
They're on Premier Sports in the UK, I believe.
Okay.
It's just like £10 a month, but
they're on ESPN Plus in the States.
There you go.
Alan Nolan says Gray will be a shock to loads. Aaron Badley says, afternoon, lads. RCO2 also says, something else I didn't appreciate was Townsend's impact on Wan-Bissaka and Eze. They both credit him a lot. Good. It's good to see that he sounds... I mean, he sounded positive, didn't he? Did you listen to his interview yesterday? I thought he was, like, really positive, and
yeah.
I thought it was good when he said, like, these see me as a squad player, but, like, I want to break in. It was, like, kind of like, he knows. And the other thing as well, I was saying this before, on the earlier live, is, like, one of the things I really thought was interesting, and I thought it was quite good, actually, was when he said, when I was leaving Spurs, Levy said, like, it's hard to get back to a top club, and he was right, but now I am back here. Yeah. And I think that's good, because it's almost like I actually appreciate where I am now. And something you said the other day, we've had players that are on the way down, and it's a bit like, I'll go there, it's a big club, but it's easy money, whereas he's kind of like, I want to make an impression.
Yeah, to be 30 and to be leaving Crystal Palace on a free transfer to sign for the biggest club he's ever played for, then, which I have no hesitation in saying, by the way, because it is the biggest.
Statistically, it's correct.
The biggest club he's ever played for. So the chance that chance doesn't come around that often.
No.
And it's up to him to grab it with 2 hands, whether he does or not. It's on him. Having to give him a chance. You know, we like the contract length, we like the contract, and it's on him to grab it now. And you know, I did see the interview, and he was saying, you know, I want to play. My best position for me is on the right, but he said, you know, I liked when he said I'll play on the left, I'll play centre back, I'll play left back, I'll play in goal. It was just like that's the attitude you want, isn't it? Straight away is this fella's come to work.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly what it is. This fella's come to work.
This fella's
and
come
that's
to
what
work.
it's about.
Yeah.
James Perry says, happy Wednesday all. Rafa rightly said that it's more important to walk the walk rather than just talk the talk. But I've got to say, I was impressed with Townsend's first interview. Particularly liked how he said he knows he's only been signed to be a squad player, but he's ready to work hard and try to prove them wrong. Already spoken like a man with a point to prove, which is important. I think it's very important, isn't it? RCO2 says Richarlison, Bailey, Townsend and Gray is top 4 level depth of wingers. We'd have to get Bailey first.
Yeah, we'd have to get Bailey.
But
I said on another show, if we ended up with a quality right back, like a Dumfries, and we did maybe get a winger, you know, a top class winger, then, and a backup centre forward, then we'll have done. I think we'll have done all right this summer. The fact that we've already got 3 in is big as well. I think going out to America, taking 3 to America, that's big as well. That's where you want them. Because the better the player is, I think the less time they'd take to fit in, which we saw with Allen and Decore and James.
yeah.
But to bring squad players, you want to get them in, you want to evaluate them and where they'll mix with other players, so, and how you get the best out of them. So,
I think a good thing for like Damari Gray is like he played for England with Tom Davies and Holgate and people like that, so he already knows a couple of the lads in the squad, I think, which is important. It's always important to have that one person you can kind of like have a chat with, who you kind of know and have spent time with, rather than going in and you don't know anyone. And I know they'd be taken under the wing, but I think if you've already know someone...
I think footballers are pretty versatile, though. You'd be surprised. You know, I've been
just to Leverkusen, he didn't know anyone.
You know, yeah, I've played for football teams or been around football teams. After 5 minutes, you know, you're laughing and joking with people, and to have those little links there.
I just mean when you go.
To have those little links where, even if it's someone who can go out, you know, introduce you to the person, everyone else, and all that. Yeah, that helps.
Carl says, okay, it's super duty that we are getting Gray for a pittance, but I wish someone at the club would grow some balls and buy Bailey and Dumfries now. Yeah. We've got 11 more months to balance the books, which we could do in various ways. Let's get it done and stop trying to needlessly hang the entire success on the sail of Moyes Keane. We
were talking about this earlier on, and we were having this conversation in the room. Baz has done a video with John Blaine over FF. I mean, I say a video. It's a bit of a mini-series, if I'm honest. We could decide this summer that we're going to bring Bailey and we're going to bring Dumfries in and say, right, if we go where we want to go with these players, then they'll get paid for by the place we finish in the league, getting into Europe and all that kind of thing. If we don't, then we're just going to have to sell Richarlison next year. And that's how we recoup it. And say, you know, it's 3 years, it's rolling. This year will take us pretty close, or if not over. But next year we you know, we claw it back, and I that to me makes sense. And I know it's up to it's up to the club what they want to do, but how close they want to do it. But I think those two deals are, in terms of what you'd be paying for those players, would be a not an over the top amount of money. Yeah. And I think there's going to be deals this summer where there's going to be a lot of bargains to be had if you've got the money now to pay it. I think we'll end up paying, if we don't get a decent right back now or a decent like winger, we'll end up paying double next year. Yeah, easily. Or the year after. So I'd take the hit. I'd go this year, and I don't think it's blowing I don't think that's blowing FFP out the water. That's saying, let's get them now. Let's see what happens over the next 12 months with FFP, with the Premier League version of FFP. And if the worst comes to the worst, next year might be the right time for the club to sell Richarlison, and then also for him, he might be adamant that is the time he wants to leave the club as well. So that to me is a plan, and it makes sense. Yeah, definitely. Reese the Best Gaming says, I'm a Chelsea fan. Can I just say I love the Everton accent? Cheers, mate. Yeah, it is an Everton accent. Us. Daniel O'Connor says, afternoon lads, roasting again. I hope it cools down a bit before I play footy at 7. Be a tough run around. What's wrong with you?
I was going to say thank you then. It's not my accent.
No, it's not your accent. You're a one.
No one wants yours, Ned, let's be honest. Chris Burrier says, the Florida website has it to be arranged where Arsenal used to be. Florida Cup.
Is that just for Arsenal?
Just for Arsenal?
No, I mean like Arsenal is to be arranged.
Oh, maybe. God, who knows. Albie Calderbank says, lads, can we win the Florida Cup? Absolutely we can.
Do you mean when are we going to win the Florida Cup and it'll be next Wednesday, mate?
There you go.
You've been sold.
Ned has
You've
come
been
in with the
sold.
confident cockiness of a
He's
St Helens boy.
Yeah, who hasn't
happening.
seen Everton in either pre-season or in cups. Tom_Riddle95 says, how would a loan to buy for Keane affect our ability to spend this summer?
Well, it would be dead money because it doesn't matter. You have to have the money basically in the bank.
So if we got like 10 million loan fee, then yeah, we could probably buy. You could spread it, couldn't you?
But it's just an IOU.
It'd only be what like for like, wouldn't it? So we'd only be able to buy someone who the club, their selling club, will go, well, he's worth whatever. You know what I mean? £10 million doesn't stretch a lot. Whereas if we took the full hit, the 40 million, we could buy 3 players with it, really.
What if it was a guaranteed sale next season?
Well, that's what it is, a loan with a
Doesn't
buying
matter.
option.
It's a check you haven't cashed.
Yeah.
How can clubs buy players on the back of, well, we're going to sell him next season, though?
Because they're levying that financial fair play. And they're levying that money for
Everton could do it. Everton could say, right, well, you want him, loan him, and it's the obligation is there next summer for you have to pay £35 million next summer for him, but you have to pay £8 million right now to take him for the season. Then Everton get £43 million over that period. The only problem for us is we're only getting £8 million. So that £8 million means that you're bringing someone in. So how does it stretch? You want Leon Bailey, say, and Leverkusen go, he's £30 million, but we want £10 million every summer for the next 3 years. And Everton have got £8 million. You're still £2 million short.
We're spinning plates.
You're just going like that.
We're spinning plates. That's what we're doing.
That's what
but
it
if
is.
Put it this way, it's the dead easy way is like if you had £30 in your pocket, it's better than knocking on 3 of your mates' houses that owe you £10 each, isn't it? You know, if the £30, it's safe. You're taking that home.
Going on with that.
You're taking that home. Taking it home with your bully, bendy bully in your tankard. So Everton,
because you might get to mate 2 and 3 and you go, I haven't got it, mate. You've got a tenner, but you need the 30 quid to go. So at the end of the day, Everton might end up doing that deal with PSG where they go, it's 35 million next summer. You have to pay, and you have to pay us 6 or 7 million for the season this year. I don't know. I wouldn't do that, but Everton might look at it and go, well, he doesn't really want to be here. I'm not saying this is accurate. I'm just saying that's what could happen. Doesn't really want to be here, and we may as well take that money and we can put that money towards him and we can have him now. But the ideal situation for Everton is PSG go, we want him now, and there's the money.
It's a negotiating tactic, isn't it? If you keep telling someone that someone's not for loan, if they really want him, they'll come back and spend the money on him. That's a negotiation tactic. Now Everton might get down to the last days of the window and find they've got real no choice but to send them on loan with a guarantee. But that's more to do with having an unhappy player and how you're clawing that money back. It's all negotiations. Don't forget, there's still, what, 6 weeks, isn't there, of the window that's open. There's no panic right now. Everton are like, take him or leave him, but there's no in-between. Because he's a good player. He could score goals for us. We start the season without Richarlison as well. We'll have Dom coming back from international duty and modelling close. So,
it's all good. Chenla says, just poked a hole in the exhaust of my £400 car that is falling apart. Now it sounds like a boy racer.
It's right, Chenla. I mean, it won't pass an MOT.
No.
But it sounds good. That's to me is the equivalent of, remember you were a kid and you had a BMX and you got a carton drink and you stuck it in the back and you went and it went and you thought you were boss, but really probably people were like, what are you doing, you massive clown?
Yeah.
Remember the spokies you used to get from inside cereal packets and you put them on the wheels and they went there?
Yeah.
Good times.
Great times. Keith Powell says, I didn't realise that UNESCO heritage site decision was made by a committee in China. Or there's someone.
Apparently as well. Apparently I've just read some about that UNESCO. It had to be 2/3, right? And it was something like, I don't know, 7-5 or something, or whatever it was. Or no, it was like 15-5 or something like that. Yeah. But 2 people whose votes went in, got left out, and they never give a reason why they got left out, and they won't discuss it. And so if they'd got those 2 votes and they'd been in favour of the city, they wouldn't have lost the UNESCO. It just sounds so...
Dodgy.
It just sounds like they've picked a place which isn't arsed, and also isn't like a Stonehenge or a Venice or somewhere, or the pyramids. I mean, the pyramids are surrounded by McDonald's and KFCs and all kinds. And they've gone, we're going to make an example of you, because actually you're not arsed. And also, you've made, you know, you haven't got this landmark that people can say, oh, how can you do that? They've made an example of us because they're trying to scare people. Maybe they've only got so many plaques. They can't afford any more plaques.
Maybe that's all it is. Matt Syme said, did Peg go to St Margaret's?
No, I didn't.
Michael Brandt's
I
being
should have gone to St Margaret's, but I never. Unfortunately, my mum let me decide which school I wanted to do. Shouldn't have really done that. She should have said, you're going to that school. But I didn't. No, I went to Sudley with Michael.
Did you?
But
where did you go? Quarry?
Quarry, did you? Oh yeah, of course I went to Quarry. You know I went to Quarry.
Yeah.
We've had this all the time.
Yeah,
I mean, I can say I went to the same school as John Lennon,
Yeah.
but I would have had a better education.
Steve Coppell.
Yeah.
CO2 says also, I really like Tom Davies, but I think if we could get 15 to 20 million for him, there's a lot better options for us. Even Harrison Reed from Fulham would be a great option. Homegrown, very mobile. Okay. Derek says, okay, sad to see Bernard go. He's a wonderful little player, but he's not up to the Premiership physicality. Best of luck to him wherever he ends up. The Florida Cup, is it right? There's only 2 teams in it now.
No.
Inter are over there. The organisers get... Well, the organisers will be looking for a club to replace Arsenal. Inter are already there. Everton will be there. Everton on 7:30, so only about another 2 hours. Brad says, what do you reckon with Keane? If we can't sell him, lads, don't want him to waste away on the bench, but can't see him on the right of a front three either, and he doesn't have the engine to track back. Ideally, we want a left footer on the right, James or Townsend. Moise Keane will be let go if PSG pay the money. It's as simple as that. If they don't pay the money and Everton decide that loaning him is not the right thing to do, he will be in Everton's squad. And then it's up to him to try to get himself in front of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Or when he comes on, make an impact so that he gives the manager a decision. I don't really know. Other than that, what do you do with him? He's not really a like for Dom. He's a runner. Moise Keane in behind, and he's
different, isn't he?
Yeah, he can turn and run up plays, which I don't think Dom can.
No.
So they are a different striker.
Actually complement each other in a way if they play together.
If they play together, but I don't know whether Rafa Benitez will play them together. So, RCO2 says, from a personal perspective, do you believe we'll get a right back, centre midfielder, right winger, and backup striker? Or do you only think we're going to pay for the right side of the team? Could we get away with having Dobbin or Ellis Sims as the thing back up?
No, we need a right back.
We definitely need a right back, and they are trying to get that. And quite clearly, I mean, there's a thing today in the Athletic saying he wants Chukwueze as well, don't they? If they can't get Bailey, so they quite clearly still after a high level winger. Now, whether that means James is gonna go, I don't know, or whether it means they're listening to they'll let Iwobi out the door. I'm sure they would. Remains to be seen, doesn't it? You know what goes on.
Yeah.
But the centre midfielder, I'm not convinced that they will definitely get one, because I think the way he plays, if he plays the 4-2-3-1, he only needs 2. And if he's got Allen, Decore, Gbamin, Tom Davies, Gomez straight off the bat, and Fabian Delph still there already, there's 6 there who can play that role, which is too many. If he got rid of Gomez and Delph, then I think he would get another one in. Not saying he definitely won't, but just when you look at it like that, just looking at the squad, he might go, and on Yango, coming back, he might look and go, we don't really need to waste the money there. We can spend it somewhere else for this season. Who knows? I mean, we spoke yesterday about that rumour of a potential swap deal for Gomez for Nunes.
Yeah.
If that happened, then yeah, because you're replacing like for like, and that you like for like as in a central midfield player, that they are very different footballers. But I don't know. Dobbin and Sims isn't fit yet, and I think needs another year on loan. I think then we could assess him properly.
We need a contract first.
Yeah, and Lewis Dobbin is only just he come back from an injury at the end of the season. He started this season really well. He needs to play a full season in the under-23s, I think, regularly. And then if he's still doing as well. To be honest, if he's doing really well, by January, clubs will be looking at to take him on loan as an option. So, Ethan Riley says, evening lads, hope all is well. What are some of your early predictions? I'm going for Man City for the title, PSG for the Champions League, and Everton for the FA Cup, up the Toffees. Who's going to win the league, Pat?
Yeah, City.
I think City will win it.
Yeah.
Who's going to win the Champions League? He's gone for PSG.
I think PSG have made a couple of absolute brilliant, three brilliant signings. Wijnaldum,
Donnarumma
and Sergio Ramos are three.
And they're trying to get, and they've got Hakimi, who's incredible.
That's four great signings.
Yeah. So they've got a great chance, haven't they?
Yeah, they've got a really good chance.
If they make a fifth in Moise Kean
could be the icing on the cake.
He could be the cherry.
With the cherry on top. They would be. Obviously, they never won the French title last season, so you got to win that as well. I think they just need to be more serious this season and get off to a better start, and don't allow Neymar to go and see his sister on her birthday. And what?
Breaking news.
According to Angelo Mangiante
Inter Milan
of
aren't
Sky
going to
Sports,
America.
They're not going now. They're already there, aren't they?
No, they haven't flew yet.
they were due to travel tomorrow, so...
And they've pulled out.
They haven't pulled out, but there's rumours. That's what I was looking at then.
Inter Milan, who were due to travel to America tomorrow, will now not travel and will not be taking part in the Florida Cup to set the squad. That's according to Angelo Mangiante of Sky Sports.
So what'll end up happening, essentially, is Everton are going to play Milianos on Sunday, and that'll be it.
And Milianos again on Wednesday, probably.
That'll be it. Be a double header, two-legged, Florida Cup. That'll be it.
He says to protect the health of the team group, given the COVID situation.
Well, there are members of the Inter Milan squad who've got COVID,
Yeah.
but also COVID apparently has gone up by 600% in Florida, in Orlando, apparently. Because obviously it's the summer.
And we've already gone.
And everyone's going. Well, we will, but if we create a bubble.
Yeah.
And they use it as a
They're
training.
not going to be meeting anyone.
If they use it as a training thing.
Camp, yeah.
Then, sorry, you wanted me to do camp then.
No.
Then.
I want to see us against Inter.
I don't think we've got the facilities.
Enemy to beat them.
I'll be honest with you, when they announced we were going to Florida, I did think it was a bit mad.
Yeah.
But I think everyone thought that the world was on track till a certain gentleman with scruffy hair decided he was going to let COVID into the world.
Yeah, but you can't blame him for Florida, can you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
How? Because we haven't been allowed to go.
No, the Delta variant got out into Europe and then it got to America. That's the number one strain now. We're not talking about COVID. No, because we've done that the other day. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I imagine if they don't go, then they'll just have to play Milianos twice. I imagine
2 games.
Yeah. I mean, for Everton, it's a couple of games. They're not going to be bothered. For the facilities and the training is what it's all about. Yeah. This Colombian team aren't pulling out, and we're there. So,
it's not great, that is it?
We'll see it as an opportunity to spread our brand, which is what we're going for. It was, we were going to play probably one decent game. I mean, I'm not writing this team off by Colombia for a good game of footy.
No.
So yeah. Listen, we've been to
Mad.
America. We went to America one year and played Philadelphia Union. That's the only team we played. We went another time and I think we played... we played River Plate and got beat 1-0. And we played Real Salt Lake, I think, as well.
Thingy scored when we got beat 1-0. The big thingy, Chris.
Yeah,
The
Pontus.
striker, Chris Pontus.
And
when
Dingo's-
Philadelphia Union beat
And Dingo scored for...
Real Salt Lake.
No, for River Plate. The little
The
fella.
little fella, Pablo Aimar.
No, the other fella.
Who?
No, the other one.
Aimar won it.
No, it was the other fella who was seen as...
Aimar played though.
No, it was the other fella, I'm sure. Remember from the World Cup 98 that everyone was saying was the next Maradona? What was his name? Oh, what was his name?
Pablo Aimar.
No, what was his name? No, it might have been Pablo Aimar, but I'm thinking of someone else and I want that
Okay.
name on first. What was his name?
I don't know.
Little fella with... He scored, he was going to be the next big Maradona. I'm sure he scored.
Because Pablo Aimar was going to be the next Maradona as well.
Everyone was going to be. And now they're all going to be the next Messi.
Exactly. Okay.
What was his name? Little curly head fella.
Pablo Aimar, I care.
Ortega!
Oh, Ariel Ortega.
And he did score.
He did score, yeah. Ariel Ortega. There you go. Glenn Watson.
And it was in Canada. The Edmonton Cup. We didn't win that one.
Cool. Didn't win that.
Sure,
Ped
it's a
only
Boston
question.
chip.
What are your favourite vegetables to buy from Aldi? A, a cauliflower. B, parsnip. C, runner beans. D, aubergine. Do you buy any of them?
That's a terrible goal, that. Hang on.
Is the chip?
Yeah. Watch them run through the defence. Hang on. Watch. Lescott. What's the goal he doing?
That was a beautiful
Was
goal.
that Ian Turner in goal?
Was it?
That was Callum Nash, I think. No, the only vegetables I tend to buy from Aldi are to make like a stir fry.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
By the way, the big news of the day is, and I can't believe this, and I know some people have the comments, what are they doing to Pez? What are they doing to Pez?
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
killed Pez. I mean, they've literally killed it. It's called eFootball. It's going to be online, that's all it is. It's going to be like a...
Basically Fortnite football.
Yeah, basically it's like Fortnite football. It's peer-to-peer. You can play it on any platform against each other, which is fine. But there's no single-player mode. There's no, sitting down with your mates.
There must be a single player
There's not
mode.
a single-player mode. Now, back me up.
No, they haven't released it yet. There's
They've
more,
said
all the details in August.
Said it's all online, right? It said it's all online, right? So unless this might just be a gap year, it's because they're working on something super duper. So they're using.
I still reckon you'll have a single player
Honestly,
mode.
that's what they're saying. There's no single. They're saying it's free. It's an online free game. That's what they said.
Back to FIFA then.
So unless
disappointing.
next year they're going to go always the game again because we were having a gap year while we perfect our
No
new.
reason to do that. It's
Well,
more
because we've just gone up to the new.
yeah, but in some respects, you make
Unless
the
they
make
announce-
the single player game so people can actually play the game.
Will
Don't
you
you?
not announce Pez as well? Like
What?
Modern Warfare do, like there's Modern Warfare, the full game, or there's
No,
campaign
no.
and everything. And then
If you watch the video, it says Pez is no more. The official video. Messi's in it, and he's like, just shoot Pez in the corner, and no one puts Pez in
No
the
one
corner.
puts Pez in the corner.
Oh, now we're stuck.
Moment
with FIFA.
silence for Pez.
Sad. Finn218 says fuming with Pez Master League. So much better than FIFA's career mode.
Yeah, FIFA's just way too glitchy. And it's the same stuff, same crap every year. Like they don't fix. I sat down after the Euros, and started a player career because I wanted to get in the England squad. And after a couple of days, got in the England squad. Honest to God, right? I should have took a picture. There was like the lineup was all glitch. So
Yeah,
John Stones was right wing.
yeah.
There was full backs and centre backs at full back. It was a mess. And I remember, and the last FIFA 20, I remember playing, and I was playing a career mode as Everton. They were playing right backs on the wing, and it's just what's going on.
It's a great story.
It's a true.
Glitches that happen every year.
I mean, I stopped listening after about 2 seconds, but
No, I'm just saying that's why
Don't messing.
PES is a big loss.
Finn218 says PES will be doing a free game every year and make you buy the latest game
Well, at the moment,
rather than buying a new game every year. Okay. Glenn Watson says, when is Ned only question? When is the next episode of FIFA out on Toffee TV?
I asked them this before.
I've edited one. Well, I edited it a couple of weeks ago, so I can put it out. But that, like,
Why haven't you? Were all excited. I told you
it's
this.
because the next episode is what happened the last time we played it, and it was not good.
I told you.
What does
I
that
don't
mean? Oh, can't put this episode of Corrie out because she dies in it, and you know that's
It's
bad.
your
Isn't
own
it?
fault because you got hammered. It's not our fault.
It's FIFA's fault. I showed you the red card.
It's
They'll see
your
it when I put
fault.
it
It
out.
wasn't FIFA. You were told when you started this, it's consistency, and people want to see it, and you've stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Mark G says, does anyone need tickets for the Florida Cup? Life continues to be crap for me and I can't go now.
Bloody hell.
Well, at least you put it on there. We'll see if anyone picks it up, mate. RCO2 said, as Brad just said, if we can't sell Keane, we're in big trouble. Stop suspending. He isn't creative enough to play on the wing. We'd have to change our style. Do you think if we only sold Keane, that could afford us Dumfries, Bailey and Kamara? Or Kamara? Who, Boubacar?
Chris?
Why you put Kamara in? This is who you want. Ian Williams says, afternoon lads, just been listening to Liverpool's Capital FM on the way home, and one of the DJs was talking about Liverpool being stripped of its World Heritage status, and he said Everton is the worst thing to happen to the city. Do you like how Everton are getting blamed? Everton's the worst thing that happened to the city. We were here first. Liverpool is the worst thing to happen to the city.
We didn't try and make anyone redundant during COVID and not give them furlough payment. You know.
Josh Neakins says, if we are down a centre midfielder for whatever reason, do you think we'll go and buy another or give Iwobi a chance to play in there?
I imagine they'll give Iwobi a chance because he's part of the squad, isn't he? So you've got to give him a chance. He's in the squad.
Dick L's having a mare here. Carlo leaving. I mean, why has that bothered you? I honestly couldn't care less. He's even been erased from my memories and Everton manager. I honestly don't care a jot about him. Agent Benitez, Andros Townsend, other stuff, and now this World Heritage status. Dick took it to heart.
It's not. He hasn't took it to heart
The
though.
RS have
It's because he's
been
getting
relentless.
abused. Honest to God, Dick, get a new job. Honest to God, know what? If I had to wait, I'd just leave.
Yeah.
I would just leave. That's not living. If your life's made hell by people every day, that's workplace.
Haven't you got a HR?
That's workplace bullying.
Because if you have, go and tell them.
I'd just
You're
leave.
just properly getting bullied.
I told you what to do, Dick.
You must be on mega money if you're unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Sol says, Ned, what guitar do you play on?
I've got acoustic. I use Martin's, electric, Gibson, and Fender.
Fair play.
He was selling one the other day, and I asked him if I could have it. And he was like, "No." I was like, "Hang on, isn't that the way you do it?"
Yeah, I mean, you normally just give them away. Incredible.
Sold straight away, that.
Fair play. Terry Big Tez talks about says, I feel like Ace Ventura inside robotic rhino at the minute.
I mean, it's an image.
It is an image.
It's an image.
Aaron says, if it was up to UNESCO, the Albert Dock would be unused.
Exactly.
The fact that people are against Everton revitalising the docks, which haven't been used since 1988, is embarrassing. We're doing the city a service. Absolutely.
Do you know what, right? When I went to San Francisco, I loved what they'd done with their docks. They were a mix of like the old docks and how they used them and how they put shops in them and made them a tourist area and a little museum and a focal point for the city by basically saying this is our past, but this is our future.
Yeah.
Then obviously you have boats going from there, going over to Alcatraz and stuff, and going into the bay and stuff. And I thought to myself, I wonder what would happen if this was a UNESCO site, or because when you like, it's San Francisco. It's one of the most picturesque places in the world with the bridge, and it's got Alcatraz and everything, and it's just an amazing place. And I thought to myself, when Liverpool's done, when we do our stadium and when that joins to town, Liverpool have a waterfront that will go from the Albert Dock. I mean, you've got the arena at one end, which is on a reclaimed dock, by the way. You go through the Albert Dock, which is an amazing place full of the Royal Albert Dock, shall I say, with amazing restaurants and bars and all kinds of little things that, you know. Then you get to the Liverpool Museum, which is a mad building, but is an amazing museum. Then you've got the Three Graces, you've got the Liver buildings, and you see the ferry terminal. Then you're going to see the cruise terminal be built now, which hasn't even been mentioned any of this. They wouldn't even let Liverpool build a cruise terminal. So you have all the cruise ships down there, and you have like Navy boats from all over the world come down there, and it's amazing. And then you have some nice flats, old traditional flats, and then you've got a big waste area, which will be filled with good new stuff. And that land will mean you can go all the way up to Everton Stadium, and you can go all the way down to the arena, and it'll all be joined up. And it'll be somewhere that you can go, and there'll be bars and restaurants and places to live. And I thought about San Francisco and how they'd done it, and how this place was free and open. And it wasn't, you didn't halfway through see this old crusty dock or anything. And that's what we're supposed to be. We're supposed to be a modern city which is open, which you can go, you know what, today I'm just going to go down the front on a nice day like today, and I'm going to have a nice walk or a nice bike ride or whatever, and see all these different things.
Isn't that regeneration at its best?
That's regeneration, using old things or places where places, or when you go to any city in the world, or you think of big cities, you always think of like the big things. So you go to Paris, you think of like the Eiffel Tower, you think to like Champs-Élysées and Arc de Triomphe and all these places, and the Louvre.
Sacré-Cœur.
But when you go, why did you go all Italian?
I wanted to.
So when you go though, and you find all the other places, but they're joined up. Some of these places are joined up and some of them are not.
Yeah.
But when you go, you find it. But when you go to a lot of places are joined up. So you want that experience of going, I want to go down to the waterfront and
walk along or whatever, yeah.
When it's sunny, people are attracted to the water and are attracted to places they can sit. And there's nothing better in the world, quite literally, than overlooking water and sitting down and having a drink or whatever. And that's what forget about Everton Stadium. Right, forget about Everton Stadium. Because for the last 20 years, we've had or the last 10 years or so, we've had this arena, which should have been our stadium. We've had that to look at. But when you see what the people that brings into the city and the different people who've come to our city.
Just the area around it.
And the area around
the little bridges over to it.
And how that joins up.
Brilliant.
Liverpool won. I remember before Liverpool won. And the Albert Dock felt a million miles away from the centre of Liverpool. Yeah. But now it's all joined up with Chavasse Park. And you walk through Chavasse Park and over to the Albert Dock and back to Liverpool 1. And it's all interconnected. And it makes the city all this one big organism that you can. I remember when I had friends come over from America and they were like, oh, how far is it from my hotel to here? And I was like, you walk out your hotel and it's literally pedestrianised and you'll be able to walk around the entire city. And they were like, that's amazing. Because it's dense, but it's small. And now it'll all be opened up, and I can't wait. And it's nothing to do with Everton Stadium, it's just to do with making the most of land that is unused. And these people had the audacity to come to our city, but they didn't actually even come to our city and say, no, that land down there, you can't use that. I've been down there, like, on like late at night, because the garage where I used to have my car is, and it's dead. And it's actually got one of the best hotels in Liverpool down there as well. And it's dead. Yeah. There's nothing there. There's nothing going on. And yet, when this happens, it'll all be going on. And
part of the 10th Street, which will bridge it. So it'll just be one big thing. It'll be incredible. Paul Callow says, has Ned ever done a cover version of the Bluebell song, Younger Heart? Listened to it earlier, it sounded just like him.
I haven't.
No? Okay. Astro says, watch the interviews with the new signings and I'm genuinely excited by them. Do Just hope they are the first of many this window. Also need some new Toffee TV stickers like the one on the back.
And now we are going to get that
Baz's
sorted. I
MacBook.
did tell them why. Someone's, as funny, just looking at a picture here. Someone getting a picture with Messi in Walmart in Miami.
Incredible. You got his mask on?
Oh no, he's in Walgreens, sorry. Yeah, he's got his mask on. He's not stupid. Fella with taking a picture with him, hasn't like.
No, well, I'd want me to wear the mask and Messi not to, so we can actually see it's Messi. Jay Fearon says, afternoon all, haven't been able to join the live for a while, but hope you're doing well. Nice to see some new signings. Surely Townsend can share the secrets of his magic hair with Mr. Begovic.
Possibly, yeah.
AJ, some songs. When are you going to come down? When are you going to land? I should have stayed on the farm. I should have listened to my old man. You know you can't hold me forever. I didn't sign up with you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing the blues. Nope, don't know that one. I guess now it's time for me to give up. Take that, isn't it?
Guess now.
You give up. Back for good.
1995.
Number 3, Slip Inside the Eye of Your Mind.
Oasis, Don't Look Back in Anger.
Oasis!
Oasis. Number 4, I never wanted to be your weekend lover. I only wanted
Prince, Purple
some
Rain.
friend.
All you want is purple rain. Purple rain. Purple rain.
Number 5, we're leaving together, but still it's a farewell. And maybe we'll come back to Earth. Who can tell? It's Europe, isn't it?
We're leaving together.
But still
What's that
farewell.
first one's thrown me?
I don't know the first
I
one.
want to say Deacon Blue.
When are you going to come down? When are you going to land? I should have stayed on the farm. I should have listened to my old man. You know you can't hold me forever. I didn't sign up with you. I'm not a present for your friends to open. This boy's too young to be singing the blues.
I know it.
Elton John.
What is it?
Elton John.
What song?
And I
Yellow
guess
Brick-
Yellow Brick Road.
What is it? Yellow Brick Road, is it?
It's because there's comments on YouTube. I don't really know the song.
Oh, yeah, beaut. Steve Kelly says, all right, lads, hope you're both well. Got a vid to send in there for Ask Us Anything in relation to Hammers. What do you think the future is for a Wobie? Can you see Rafa using him inside, or do you think the club are actively trying to sell him?
Who's that about?
A Wobie.
Oh, Hobie.
Do you think we'll use him, or are we actively trying to sell him?
I think he'll be available.
Okay.
Definitely.
Not so Purple-Aki. It's his name. Darren Farley, yay or never? Never.
In my opinion, I don't think he's very good.
Okay.
That is my opinion.
I think my Jamie Carragher's better than
It's
his
miles
Jamie
better.
Carragher.
I think all my impressions are
I
better
think
than his.
Ned's Rafa's better than his Rafa. Hakon Sarak says Ramsdale to Arsenal for 30 million. Or Begovic to Everton for free. Begovic is a backup, is a no-brainer. Arsenal overpaying for a backup keeper. Tell you what, they're really trying to get round the Arsenal fans, aren't they? The Cronkies this summer. Go ahead, Mikel. Go and burn through 150 million and then we sack you in November. Steve Kelly says also, what's your opinion on vaccine passports? Yes or no?
Slightly torn on this one
Okay.
because I do think they get.
Do you think Everton will ask for them?
No, I think the Premier League will ask for them.
Yeah, well, that's
Because
the story.
the simple fact is, if you're the Premier League, right, and someone says to you in November, you're going to have to kick all your fans out, lads, then the Premier League will be like, well, what can we do to get round this? And they'll say, well, this vaccine thing.
Yeah.
So,
You can
I'm
see.
torn because I think it does go against people's rights. No one's forcing you to have the vaccine, but in a way they are because of these vaccine passports. So on that side of things, I'm torn on it because I do think it's, you know, it goes against people's rights. But on the flip side of that, what I would say is, people know they can't smoke in restaurants or pubs or anywhere indoors because what they're doing affects my health. So if you look at it from that point of view, they can turn around and say, well, you're going into a public area indoors.
Yeah.
if we have this vaccine passport, then it's going to keep the majority of you safe, which means it's going to keep the country safe, which means... No, because I'll tell you why. 96 people... I was thinking about this yesterday. 96 people died yesterday, right?
Did they?
Of COVID,
That what it was?
right? And I was thinking about that number. And I was thinking about... We just dismissed that number. People like, only 96 people died today. And I was thinking, that's 96 people's families who've had to deal with, and friends who have to deal with that death. And we know what that number means for this city. And now
Symbolic.
it's symbolic to
Us
families
as a
in
city,
this city of people who died through no fault of their own. And those people who died yesterday, probably a lot of them would have died out of no fault of their own or neglect from different areas. And that's when it struck home to me. People did die yesterday because of this, and if we can curve that in any way, then haven't we got a duty to? But I still see the other side of the argument, which is it goes against your rights and all this kind of things. I don't know. It's like when you go to a theme park and they say you can only be this high to ride. You've got to be this high to ride the ride. There's a reason, isn't there? You don't kick off on them.
No.
You know that's what you're signing up for. You can walk down the street now, or without a mask, or do anything you want. But if you want to do something, and again, I am torn on it, but you don't walk in a theme park and go, no, my son's going on that ride. No, he's not big. I don't give a monkeys. I take responsibility. No, they go, no, you don't take responsibility.
Yeah,
we do. It's the same thing with like the seatbelt thing. It's like, you could drive all year without no seatbelt on, only takes someone to hit you. And so I am slightly torn on it, but everything's a mess, isn't it?
It'll come down to the Premier League at the end of the day, because they are trying to keep as many people in stadiums as they can, because obviously all of their monetary deals were affected last season because no fans were in the stadium. So all the sponsors reduced their payments. So what they'll want to try and do is get as many people back in that stadium. And if that means it's because you've got to have had 2 COVID jabs to get in, that's how they'll do it.
Same with if it was a cinema, or it was a gig, or it was... You know when you go to the match and there's a big sign of saying these things that you can't take into the ground, right? Then, no one it says, it's got like all these crosses through it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take this, you can't take this, you can't take this. Well, add COVID to that list. You can't bring COVID in.
It is a mad one, because there's all sorts of different views on it. I honestly don't know anymore. My head's battered with the whole thing. It's just like, I don't know. I went in the shop before I put my mask on.
I'll always put my mask on.
I come out and that was it. And to be fair, other people were in the shops as well.
People have the right now not to wear masks if they don't want to, and that's fine. No problem with that at all. I choose to wear my mask. I won't look down on them, and I hope they don't look down on me.
Yeah.
Right? But what you got to remember is big companies and big anyone, little companies, have to protect their company now. They have to. So if that means someone says, listen, we've signed up to this passport because you know what? We can't go on like this and we need to stay open. And if we have any kind of COVID situation, which means that the country shuts down, we're going to lose our business. Or the Premier League say, people are going to start switching off because they can't have this thing of ground open, ground shut, ground open. Imagine you're Everton and you've took your season ticket money off people, and suddenly you have to get into that thing of like, oh, we have to give people back money for this game and that game and everything. Whereas the government, whether you like it or not, are saying, well, here's your insurance policy.
Yeah.
You can go the match, but you've got to have the double vaccine. Now, I know for some people that's like saying, well, that's against me and that's against what I want. Well, then that's fine. You've sort of made your choice, haven't you? It's like when people said, I'll never go into that pub when the smoking ban came in and all these kind of things. They did. So it is personal choice. It still leaves personal choice, doesn't it? Simply.
Yeah. Mark T says, was Bernard's sort of cryptic tweet Dean discussed yesterday? Was it Bernard saying goodbye, or was he saying goodbye to Dean? obviously hoping the former, but someone's off. It's not Luca Dean.
It's not the Dean.
It's Bernard.
Bernard.
He's on the verge of going. He just needs to go. He's been on the verge of going for over 2 weeks.
Dean's flying to America, isn't he,
I
apparently?
don't know. I've seen a thing.
Maybe.
I don't know. I don't know whether he was just meant he was coming back here to work.
Maybe.
Jay Fairden says, well, it's cracking the flags here in the UK and the whole planet's heating up. May I recommend Beyond Burgers once more for your barbecue? It's one small change, tastes boss, and you
I will
may
get
never
some of them. They're the
go back.
vegan burgers, aren't they?
I'm not on commission, honest.
Someone sent me this before. Who was it?
Alex P, I don't want to discuss it, but it's for ongoing reasons. That's why the press can't discuss it.
Someone sent me this
Yeah,
before. Everton Vikings sent me on Twitter. Scientists have found viruses nearly 15,000 years old in 2 ice samples taken from Tibetan Plateau in China. Most of those viruses, which survived because they have remained frozen, are unlike any viruses that have been catalogued to date. And we were talking about that yesterday or the day before.
Don't scare. I just want to, you know what?
So I watched the thing.
The last few days, I just want a few days
But
of
there's a thing on Sky as well, on the app. It's a big report they've done. Again, talking about Russia, and now there's a town in Russia that's completely collapsed because the permafrost underneath it's melting, and it's been there for like thousands of years. So it's starting to melt. It's soil, and it's starting to melt. And as it melts, all the infrastructure above it's starting to sink because it's soil.
Where is it?
It's in Russia, but this permafrost goes all the way across Russia, and as that's melting, it's releasing carbon and God knows what else into the atmosphere. Welcome to the new world, where we all burn. And see that flood in China in the train? The water was up to the shoulders. Jesus Christ! And UNESCO are worried about a few, and about a ground being built on a dock.
They want to really start putting pressure on world leaders.
They want to start building the stadium slightly
Just
higher.
a little bit higher. Steve Riley says, I think the business so far is really smart considering the drop-off last year when we lost the likes of Richie and Dom to injuries and suspension. Having strength in depth is the key, and if we can add quality later on, that's the bonus. Keep up the good work, lads. Alex Kenneth says, feels like we're seriously paying for the past 5 years of bad investment in the transfer window. Could be better in the long term if we stick to low fees, freezing loans this summer. If we can't get enough through players' sales, that'd free us up more free spending next summer. My biggest preference is to give the middle finger to the EPL rules and splash the cash regardless though. Big Jan says, evening all, anyone else think the horse vid is boss? Michelle Begovic.
Yeah.
Very, very enthusiastic.
Although, come on mate, there's a new kit out. Wearing last year's kit, bit tight that.
No.
I'm not saying the shape was tight, I'm saying could have got her the new kit.
She had the new one on, didn't she?
I thought it was last year's. I didn't see any yellow on it.
He was in the shop on Saturday.
That's what I'm saying. I didn't see any yellow on it, so I thought it was last year's.
I don't want to go one though. I can't be bothered, to be honest.
No, it was good. Yeah. Good little.
The horse, the one today, the horse with the scarf on.
Seen
the
that.
horse
Nice.
is like, what's
like that?
This Everton look? Mark Wymouth says, surely we can spend what we need to get the players we want. I get we wouldn't want to tell the world that for negotiation reasons, but Uncle Usmanov will sponsor the shirt sleeve for whatever amount we need to balance the books.
It won't though. It doesn't work
It
like
could
that.
be as simple as that. You can't do that, Mark, because it's got to be what the market dictates. So if, for argument's sake, I'm trying to think who's got one. So Arsenal have got Visit Rwanda as their sleeve sponsor, and if they've decided that real estate is worth 2 million a year, say, Everton couldn't go, well, ours is worth 10 million a year. It can't be done, and this is what's happened. If it was that easy, I think Everton would have done it. But watch, me and John Blaine have done an FFP thing today. That'll be out on Patreon, so give that a watch. Mark G says we should loan him to PSG for £40 million with a 15 million mandatory buyout. Otherwise, they can do one.
Or we send them over for 40 million loan fee with £1 mandatory buy.
Yeah. Keith says, don't forget, chaps, EFC's accounts 2019-20 posted a loss of 140 million. 60 million in lost revenues due to COVID. However, 2021, which is ending in May, would only be able to include 10,000 spectators over 3 games and no match day revenue at all. So the losses are going to be far in excess of that. Normal match day revenue is 16.3 million. Well, just watch the video that me and John do. Chenlar says, have City been kicked out the league? Seen it everywhere. My mate's a City fan and he was telling me about it.
No.
What?
No.
He's winding it up, I think. Mike says, what else can Mashiri Usmanov do to increase sponsorship funds for Everton, assuming Keane is unable to be sold this year?
Maybe they'll come up with something late, but then will all the talent be gone?
That's the issue. Cal says it's like 4 new signings in the squad with Gabaman. Yeah, AJ, some Madonna for Ped. All early Madonna too in the world's best. You've got that style, that's what all the girls say. Satin sheets and luxury, so fine. All your suits are custom made in London, but I've got something you really like.
Is that Material Girl or is that Vogue?
No, I think it might be Vogue, that.
Vogue, yeah.
2, sometimes it gets so hard to hide it well. I was not ready for the fall. Too blind to see the writing on the wall. A man can tell 1,000 lies. I've learned my lesson well. If I
know what the song is. It's literally my favourite song, but I can't think.
Live to Tell.
It is Live to Tell, but I'm trying to think. It is my favourite Madonna song. It's absolutely brilliant.
And number 3, at night I lock the doors where no one else can see. Belter tune.
Again, I've gone blank.
Out of the film.
Which film?
If I tell you, then it's get into the groove. Though. Robbie says, if we can't buy, are there any loan options that have been mentioned we're interested in, like Hudson-Odoi, Coutinho? That'll be again, that'll probably be later in the window, won't it? I think Everton will probably be trying to buy. It's just looking at ways how to do it and how it plays off. Ben says, more reports now Inter aren't playing due to COVID. Yep.
Someone's just sent me a message there saying about the jab. I won't say this because you DM me, so it's private. Unless you tell me I can. Okay. And they said they haven't had their jabs yet because they just don't like needles.
Okay.
Honestly, mate, I didn't feel... When I went for my first one...
I felt the first one.
When I went for my first one,
simply because the fella told me to put my arm like I'm a little teapot. And it was tense, the muscle. Yeah. The second one, my arm...
To drop it.
The second one, my arm dropped. I didn't even feel it.
So the first one, I walked in and I sat down. I was on my own. I didn't know what was going to happen. And he went which arm? And I went my right arm because my left arm's got my tattoo on it. And I was just sitting there, and he went, all done. And I was just like, what? Because I honestly thought he was going to like jab my arm and then like push something in to get, and it was going to be like, and I was just, and I went, oh. And he went, yeah, she just went, yeah, go and sit down there for 10 minutes till you feel if you're driving. I went, all right. And then she came back with 5 minutes later, when you feeling all right? I went, yeah. And I went and bought, it was in Boots, I went and bought a sandwich. And I swear, okay, afterwards your arm starts to hurt a little bit. But when the needle, I didn't feel a thing. And I'm not being funny. If anyone's been the dentist and had an injection in their gum, nothing can ever be as bad as that. Because they got shit, they are like that. And you're like, it's horrible. Honestly, if you're scared of needles, don't be. Just look away to the other way. And just put headphones in.
You won't even know.
But it's the feeling of knowing, no. It's the feeling of, if you look at it, you can see it. And it hurts by the idea you can watch it. If you look away and put some headphones in or something, you wouldn't even notice it.
Sit on your phone like this, look at your phone.
Sit on your phone?
Yeah.
Be uncomfortable.
I'll tell you that I love it. Right, Jay Muncie says we should definitely call the new stadium the UNESCO Stadium. Keith Powell says we could win a trophy. Brad says we shall not be moved like a team that's going to win the Florida Cup. Mark Wyman says, great show by the way, boys. My early season flutters. Everton to be top at Christmas, 66-1. Dom for the Golden Boot, 20-1. Fair play.
Are you mad?
Mark G says Florida has 1 in 5 of the new cases in COVID in the States, and no one willingly goes to Florida in the summer unless you enjoy. I do, but it's because I have to normally. Unless you enjoy the feeling of being inside an oven in the middle of a tropical rainforest. August's fine.
See,
July is horrific.
I went in June, and I went in June twice, and I went in October once. Yeah.
October will have been amazing.
October's amazing.
Yeah.
But
Bit quieter and dry heat.
I went to Vegas in June. Woo! I went to Hoover Dam. Woo!
Doesn't
My
make
God.
sense.
Get a radiator and just put it on your face, blowing hot air.
Full Ric Flair.
That's what it feels like. Those full Ric Flair.
You went full.
I was walking like that because my bills were ringing.
Oh, stop it. Big Kev says, evening guys, hope you aren't too hot in the studio. It's another scorcher out there.
It's a scorcher.
Just to let Ped know, I took his advice and I've knocked the running on the head till it cools down. It's just too hot and dangerous to run in this weather. Really surprising how many people you see running in it though. They must be crazy. I'll be back on it when it's cooler and safer to do so.
Yeah.
I've
done that for 2 months.
Martin Phillips.
Knocked it on the head, too warm.
Why not? Alan Slinger says Villa are in the driving seat to sign Bailey and we've asked for time to juggle our finances. Who said this, Al? If you don't mind.
I'll tell you in a minute.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Keith Powell says, isn't Dick's boss his missus? Don't know. If Nicola Vlasic goes to Monaco for 30 million, we get 3 million, don't we? Cheers, lads. We do get a sell on.
I thought he was going to Italy.
I did, yeah. Keith Powell says the cruise liner project from Liverpool has been cancelled, hasn't it?
I'm sure if it had been, it'll get redone again.
Yeah, I've not heard that, but there you go. Yellow Brick Road people doing that. Mark T says if you refuse to be vaccinated yet still want to walk and go where you want freely, too bad. Sometimes choices have consequences. If you want to attend any level of event with a large crowd, get vaccinated. It isn't hard. Okay. Going to a concert or sporting event is not a right, it's a privilege. And when you go, you abide by the rules. If the rules say you need to be vaccinated, then you need to be vaccinated.
Yeah.
We'll reach herd immunity very quickly if we do.
You know, it's like when you go to a concert and you have to pay £6 for a pint. They're the rules, aren't they?
Yeah. Neil says, in regards to COVID, do you think there should be repercussions for China? I'll have the Nuremberg trials post-WT.
Prove it.
You got to prove it, but
Prove it.
quite clearly,
Prove it.
this isn't just something that has appeared.
Prove it and then take China on. They're not exactly a forthcoming country, are they?
No.
They're not just going to allow the rest of the world to, have...
AJ,
Go ahead, lads, go ahead. Go and have a check. Go and check, lads. Go ahead.
AJ asks a very important question. Ped, what was Ned like at footy?
What's the next question?
And Ned, what was Ped like at footy?
What's the next question?
Fair play. I'll tell you, Ned was awful apparently. There you go.
No, I had an awful game.
Well,
Not awful at footy.
I mean, it's on a one sample, you were awful. So now,
You've got two samples. Someone told you I was boss, and someone told you I had an
No,
awful
you
Hang
told
on,
me you were boss.
Hang
No,
on.
Cam told you I was boss.
No, Cam didn't say you were boss.
Because he had a good game
And it was
last
five-a-side in an intersex
Cam
league
did say
in
you were
St.
marking a 10-year-old.
in St.
That's not
Helens.
true.
Well, I don't know, I wasn't there either.
I love the way he always goes, that's not true, when clearly...
It's not true.
NHS workers
That's
will
the
now
worst.
get a 3% pay
That's the
rise.
worst defence he's got. I mean,
And he wants a
wasn't
15%.
as bad as it is.
There you go. Ozzy Dillon said, Ped, mate, I struggled to sleep at night already, and now you keep reminding me.
Well, do you know what? I did. We all just sleepwalk into devastation, or we all wake up and start doing something about it. Even if it's just little things like the food you eat, or the car you drive, or doing better recycling, or we just
we
start putting pressure on our governments to start doing something about this. So in Australia, right, massive coal industry in Australia. People in Australia have got to say, we don't want coal anymore because of the environmental risk. It's happening now. The world is simultaneously burning and flooding at the same time. Like that the world is telling you right now that it's having a nightmare. So what do you think happens next? Lightning strikes on us.
Okay. Stuart Hughes says, Baz, what do you think about Darren Griffiths on Everton TV? Fine. Darren's all right. Hit that like button if you're watching. Loads are watching. Just hit the like. Takes a sec. Lazy if you don't, really. Paul Callow says, do you think anybody has booked a trip to Rwanda after seeing it on Arsenal's sleeve? Some might. I don't know. I don't know.
I seen that Rwandan hotel. That wasn't much of an advert.
No.
So I don't know whether...
Okay. AJ says that vid Ned liked on Twitter where they were singing "Who Do You Think You Are?" It's too funny. AJ said number 1 was "Dress You Up" by Madonna.
I'm gonna dress you up in my love.
All over your body. Maz A says it's important to remember these vaccines have only been approved under emergency use, with long-term effects unknown. Is it wrong? Is it not wrong to exclude those in society who don't want it, especially the young who have very little chance of dying from it? After all, you can
But
still...
they have...
Hang on. You can still transmit the virus having been vaccinated, so it makes no difference. Isn't that wrong?
Right, hang on.
Hang on. Isn't the science... I don't really have me saying it, but I'm sure that isn't correct.
Right.
About
let me just unpack
it.
that. Let me unpack that, right. First of all, you say young people can't die of it, but they can spread it.
Yeah.
Young people are
are
more
dying from
likely...
it.
Yeah, young people are more likely to socialise together, right? Which means more of them will get it, which is more chance of them then going home and giving it to other people, right? And don't say people who've had the vaccine can't get it, because they can and can get the effects of it. My sister has had both vaccines, right? And has no antibodies because she had radiotherapy and she had chemotherapy when she had a brain tumour. So don't tell me that young people, it doesn't matter. It does matter. The other side of it is, if you've double vaccinated, what it means is that you can still get it, but you don't have the symptoms of it, but you can still get it. And this is why I've been saying about wearing masks. Wearing masks is hugely important, right? And that's the only thing I've said is we should do is wear masks. But the other side of it, people make these vaccines for years and years and years, right? They all come out of the same sort of template, essentially. I just don't understand where people think what is going to happen with us with this vaccine, what's going to happen, microchips and all that. And I know you're not jumping into that, but ultimately, look at how mad the world's been in the last 18 months and continues to be mad because of it. People are dying.
I thought, and the stuff I've seen so many times, is that when you're double jabbed, that you can still get it because no vaccines are 100%, but it's only a very small amount of people. But transmitting it is reduced.
It is reduced. But ultimately, they're done to not only so you don't get as ill, but also to break the chain, right? But what it means is if I've got it, it's like vaccine's like almost like it's like the situation with the mask. If I've got it, and you've got it, if I've had the vaccine, you've got the vaccine, then when we're together, we're going to be fine. And that's the same with like the mask wearing. So if people are refusing to take it, to have the vaccine, we're not going to break those chains, and that's the problem. We're not going to break the chains in society. You could still get it, like when people get the flu and stuff. But if we want to bring these numbers way down, people have to get the vaccine.
Yeah.
And all these people who cry ass over not getting the vaccine, when you were a kid, you got vaccines, and you know what, these vaccines that eradicated smallpox and all these things, you had the vaccine for different things when you were a kid. I know in the last 15 years, because of the internet, we've got all these anti-vaxxers coming out going, this is giving my child autism and all. No, my nephew's got autism, and my sister for 1 minute would never not make sure that he had all the latest vaccines or whatever. It's the hand you dealt. But I know one thing, the chances of getting autism are massively, massively smaller than your child getting one of these diseases by not having the vaccine.
Measles kills children.
Exactly.
But the MMR stops measles and
Exactly.
eradicated it. And it only, basically eradicated it. And it only came back because of some wild accusation about autism. Right? With the thing. So that
was proved wrong.
Yeah, it was proved wrong. But after having loads of things, smallpox. I've just read the latest stuff there scientifically. You can't, it's not 100% that you can't spread it, even if you're double jabbed, but it's a minute amount. Yeah. So you can still spread it.
Same as the blood clots.
But it's a minute amount that you can spread it on. That's all. I'm not telling you to go and get it. You do what you want, but I'm just saying.
You could walk out to those traffic lights there, right?
No.
The traffic lights could be on red. The green man could be flashing to walk, and a car could drive through and hit you.
Happens.
That's life. That is life.
But yeah, listen, it is what it is. Everyone's got their own choice, but it's a difficult situation, and people will have to make their own choices on it. That's all. Yeah. But Rob says, where can I buy the Rainbow Toffees shirt?
You speak to the Rainbow Toffees at Rainbow Toffee. They were selling them because my missus bought one. We got ours when we played footy.
Yeah.
I got mine when I played
Finally, we are doing a watch-along, aren't we, on Sunday night? Are we doing it?
I think so.
I think we're doing a watch-along, AJ.
If there's a game.
Everton will be playing. Be the only one. Hakon says, if you're a nudist and want to walk around naked all the time because of your conviction, you cannot expect to be allowed on a bus. It's all personal choices.
It's alright, I don't use the bus.
Okay. AJ says, next thing that happens is our new ground will literally be floating. Paul says, I had both jabs and contracted COVID after my dad's funeral. I wasn't too bad ill-wise, but my mum and brothers who haven't had the jabs were terrible.
Yeah.
I get what people are saying about that. They have rights, but a jab is to try and help us all and protect the vulnerable. Paul, you are still low. If you've had your both jabs, you will be in the 5% who can still get it,
even though,
despite having it.
But even though it doesn't actually take proper effect for 3 weeks afterwards.
4 weeks.
Is it 4 weeks?
28 days.
I've got a week to go.
Right. So I'm not saying you, because quite clearly some people who've had the jabs have got it, but your line there, I wasn't too bad with it. Where without those jabs, you might have been really poorly, mightn't you? So, but listen again, it's each to their own. I'm not, whatever. Do what you need to do. Where are we? Keith says, Ped, the most sense I've ever heard from you. Dead right, lad. Well done. Okay. He talks a lot of sense at times. It's when he's loads, but when he's emotional sometimes.
It's when we replacements here.
Yeah. It's when I'm talking about serious things. It's when he's talking about Evan. He's not that bothered. He doesn't. Okay. These are just all. What's happening with Everton's shirt sleeve sponsor? Says Blue Steel.
Listen, we've spoke to the club about this before, and they value that space at a certain price, right? And are waiting for someone to take that up. If someone doesn't take it up, they're not underselling it. It's as simple as that. But also what they're not going to do is, and I know people keep on saying this, they're not just going to slap Megaphone on it, right? Or Yotte, whatever, the women's one. Because Everton are trying to distance themselves away from the USM brand. And that's why Mashiri had his shares diluted in USM when his shares went up in Everton. Because this is where UEFA start looking at you in financial fair play. If they find there is a direct link. So Everton are going to be, why get someone to pay for it who's one of your companies when you can get someone else to pay for it? Look at like PSG. They went for a different sponsor rather than having a sponsor that was from Qatar. I'm sure if Man City could get away from the Etihad, the sponsor, they would. Yeah. It's you want someone else's money. Mm-hmm. Maybe they've been waiting for something to pay off in South America to increase. I know they've got a deal with a betting company down there, but it's prime real estate. It's not. Listen, there will have been people knocking on the door saying, "We'll give you this money and that money," but if it's not worth it to them, if it doesn't come with, even if financially it didn't come, like the thing with the Angry Birds was, I don't think financially it was a massive thing, but it opened Everton up to a new market. It got players in the game and all that kind of thing. I don't think it quite played out the way they wanted to, because I still think you need big name players and have to be a big club to really exploit that. But
and we hoped we'd be going in a direction, didn't we? And we didn't. If Rom had stayed and stuff like that, it might have worked out, mightn't it? Like last couple. Lila says it took a 16-year-old girl to tell us the truth a few years ago about climate. Obviously, Greta Thunberg.
Exactly. People want to bury their heads about and say it's not real, but I mean, I only have to literally feel my skin to know that it's real. I know it's real, and I know it's enjoyable, and I know the warmth is enjoyable and all that kind of thing. But it's also quite dangerous as well. You know, they're putting out weather warnings.
Yeah, it's when
People
you look around, you see
it's
it.
little things like people going into the water because it's roasting hot and dying.
Yeah, there is all of that. Yeah,
There's a lot of things. It is lovely that it's warm, but it's not also natural. I mean, what? Put it this way: at what stage would it get where it got so hot that you couldn't go out? Would people still say it was nice then? Like the weather. You've seen what happened in Belgium and Germany and Holland and happening in China. And these are not. Canada and America are burning. This is not normal, and we've got to do something about it soon.
Patrick said might be worth getting into the air conditioning business if this carries on. Yeah. Hate Chill says, is the Florida Cup actually going to be played if there are 2 teams out of the tournament?
That's the big question, isn't it? I'm sure whatever happens, Everton will play that game on Sunday.
That might just be the Florida Cup, mightn't it?
And Everton might have to arrange something else.
It wouldn't surprise me if they just played then twice. They could turn around and go, it's 2 legs.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? To give the games like a bit of meaning.
Play one first team in one game and play another first team in another game.
Yeah, something like that. And it's good. That'll be good for Everton because obviously they're getting the 2 run-outs that they were hoping to get. Well, that might be how they do it. They might go, it's a 2-legged aggregate thing.
It'd be an absolute disaster for the people who've created it because, let's be honest, Inter Milan and Arsenal are going to be the 2 big names in it internationally. So it'd be a disaster for them. But ultimately, it's out of their hands. Arsenal pulled out. Inter Milan, if they do pull out, will have done it off their back. And if they've done it, Arsenal pulled out because people already had COVID. Inter Milan are saying they won't travel because, or the talk is they won't travel because people have got COVID in their ranks, not because there's COVID in America.
Because they've in their squad.
So,
there you go. AJ says, brought my Elton John tickets, wanted to go to the Echo but was sold out, so now I have to go to Anfield. Then hoping to see Diana Ross the night after at the Echo. I still want to see Elton John singing I'm Still Standing. Lee Ties Dar said, lads, have you listened to the podcast of Cara Neville? Really good listen. I've only today found out he was made captain after only 4 games. There you go.
Incredible.
There you go. Right, thank you very much. The thumbs up button would be delicious because we've had a few, obviously, the UNESCO guys in. So we'd appreciate that. But if you haven't subscribed, why don't you subscribe? Yeah. Thank you very much.
No confirmation on Gray yet, but it is done.
Yeah. Got to let them land in the States and Everton will do their video and then it can be out then. So it's all good. Take it easy. See you later.
See you later.